Hey guys, Dwight here from some weird cosmic place somewhere up in Massachusetts. Normally Ryan would be talking to you, but since he abandoned me and left me here all on my lonesome, I had to find new friends, which we will be introducing to you very, very shortly. We have Michael, but you know, the rest of our fabulous team is obviously with us through the magic of satellite. We have Ryan, Dan, and our dear, 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 dear friend Jesse. Ryan, how you doing, buddy?
Hello, Marvel Legends fans.
Bueno chicos, pues ya estamos aquí en el en vivo de Hasbro PlusCon 2021 y ya empezó el panel de Marvel Legends y pues vamos a ir viendo las novedades que van saliendo sobre estas figuras. Así que vamos a estar muy atentos y no se vayan, para que también se enteren lo más rápido posible.
As I was saying, we are the Marvel Legends Big Three, humbly at your service. Ryan, Dwight, and Dan. We're joined by
con Ryan.
Falcon, our special guest for this entire panel. Jesse, of course, you guys know him. He is a living, breathing Marvel legend himself. Jesse, thanks for being with us today. How are you feeling?
Great. Thank you guys for having me here. Super fun. PulseCon, part 2.
The second annual PulseCon. Guys, we've got a packed agenda. So first off, we're going to be doing something pretty cool today. We are going to be doing a fan vote reveal. So what's going to happen here is there's 3 options, and the fans, you guys will vote in the chat with a hashtag, and then at the end of the panel, the winning clue with the most amount of votes, we will actually go ahead and reveal. So what are those 3 clues? So first up, right, this is a figure that has been released previously in a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. That's clue number 1. Clue number 2 is this is a Marvel villain character that has never had an action figure before. And clue 3 is this is a hero character that has never had a figure before. So in the chat, you're going to go hashtag updated, hashtag villain, or hashtag hero. And then we'll tally it up, and you'll kind of see, and you'll get an extra bonus reveal later on. But before any of that, we are going to talk about our PulseCon exclusives. These are available now to purchase. We revealed them several months ago. So first up is our World Domination Tour MODOK box set. This is MODOK with the Captain. I think it's one of the funnest convention exclusives we've done in recent years. Dwight and Jesse, what do you guys love most about this set? And it has to be the cheeseburgers, right?
Cheeseburgers are fantastic, Ryan. I'm a big fan of the Captain character. We like to make some of those new additions to our lineup from old teams, and him being part of Next Wave. It was awesome to do a character that honestly none of us I think thought we'd get.
Bueno, pues esta figura ya la habíamos visto, es un MODOK rockero, casi por así decirlo, entonces pues no hay gran novedad, ¿no? Este MODOK ya no los habían anunciado.
Chase more Next Wave stuff. It still to this day is maybe one of my top 5 favorite comedy action books that Marvel's ever put out. It's so much fun. If you've never read Next Wave, please go try and find it. It's probably not very hard to do.
Jesse Falcon.
There's a bunch of different ways to find it. It is one of the most delightful things.
Tiene buenas figuras allá atrás.
I still read it like once a year. It's that much fun. So it's very exciting to bring that stuff to life in Marvel Legends form.
All right, and that's not the only item. We have one more item. This is a Toy Biz inspired, something Jesse can also talk to, but this is a 6-inch Venom figure with some crazy cel-shaded deco on a awesome Toy Biz inspired Spider-Man toy line.
El Venom que sacaron clásico del cómic. Muchos se lo pelearon, más que todo era por el diseño de la caja, ¿no? Igual están como a precios excesivos, entonces de milagro algunos lo agarraron a buen precio, entonces eso es muy bueno. Que la caja sí está muy chula, debemos admitirlo,
do that, you know, something different, something new. It's always exciting when we get to try something different in Legends, and this was our first take at doing that. And so far, it seems like the response has been really positive. So, you know, maybe we'll get to see a little bit more of this stuff in the future. But it's definitely my favorite proportioned Venom that we've done so far, using the old Omega Red body for a much larger, more meaty Venom, but not too ridiculously oversized, which I know we have those as well. That's the magic of Marvel. They're all over the place, and we get to do lots of cool stuff. But I think this one's fun. It's different. The packaging is really cool with the cel-shaded front, and the ghosted black on the backside is a really cool look as well.
Looks like you got it.
Take it out of the box, man. Come on.
Take it out of the box? Wow, you guys did open this for me. You did know that you were going to have a moron up on
Uy, lo van a abrir.
Oh, John Hogue somewhere is flipping out right now going, Dwight's touching things. Oh no, what's going on?
Ah, es que la neta sí debemos admitir que sí está buenito el
He looks awesome.
Venom,
Alternate hands, alternate head. See, I don't even remember anymore. Too many figures, man.
Vean, es una chulada esa figura.
The card's awesome. Our oversized retro spider card, inspired by all of the amazing work that Jesse did in his past life at Toy Biz. And it's just, every one of those cards are just so beautiful and colorful. It's awesome to see all of them getting a special treatment now on shelves for all of you guys, our most wonderful fans.
Shout out to our packaging team always. They make the, you know, retro cards awesome. So shout out to our packaging team and branding team, Ben, Harry, and everybody else who worked on that packaging. I love that card, so I hope everybody gets multiple.
A la madre, tiene toda la Infinity Saga allá atrás.
They are going to be available to purchase starting at 4 p.m. today for Pulse Premium members, and then 5 p.m. for everyone else. And the special plug to the Hasbro Pulse app, which we know everyone.
Hay una caja de X-Men.
Through the app as well. I've already got it on my phone.
Apenas si se logra ver, ¿no?
So those are items you already knew
Todos
about.
los Spider-Mans ahí junto con el exclusivo.
First up, this is something that Jesse and I, particularly, I think I love, but this is the Marvel Legends Retro 3 3/4
El tripack también del nuevo, creo que es Capitán Britannia, si no me equivoco.
First up is the Marvel Legends Retro 3 3/4 segment. We have a Pulse exclusive item, another 2-pack.
Exclusive.
So let's take a look at the first character here. First up,
Es de 375.
She comes on a
Es Jean Grey. Ah, sí. Marvel Phoenix. Jenner de X-Men. Está bonita, me gusta. La cara conforme al diseño de la imagen y la figura no es muy bien parecida. Wolverine con su traje amarillo clásico, igual para esta Scanner. Está raro de la cara, no sé, pero sí está chidito. Siento que el color amarillo está un poco opaco, entonces no le ayuda mucho eso, ¿no? Ah, miren, ahí están. Y pues es el diseño de la caja, lo que pusieron. Ay, y miren, son... ¿cómo se les llaman estas formas que brillan conforme lo mueves? Está muy cool, la neta. Pero son exclusivas de la Hasbro Plus Con, creo, por lo que entendí. Están muy padres esos blisters. Igual el diseño de la caja, donde los vienen como el Venom, están muy buenos.
This item will be available for pre-order later today at 4 p.m. Eastern, starting for Pulse Premium members. It's available on the app as well, so use that new Hasbro app. And Dwight, I expect those figures returned to me mint and packaged. Don't go opening them when I'm not there. All right, so speaking of retro, that is going to round out the retro segment for the year. We have a nice checklist document here that shows every single retro figure that has come out thus far. Shout out to friend of Marvel.
Y aquí todas las Collection 2021 de Marvel Legends clásicas de 375. Muy geniales, bueno, la mayoría. Ese Electro se ve muy bueno, no lo había visto.
To be revealing some of the figures in Wave 1 Retro 2022. So first up, who do we have here? We have Mr. Fantastic, and we're slowly completing the Fantastic Four team.
Está padre, me gusta el azul, es un poco claro. Yo creo que está un poquito más oscuro y hubiera quedado mejor, ¿no? Pero creo que sí era conforme a los cómics pasados. Y el molde de la cara también se ve muy, 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 muy bien.
The next figure we have in 2022 is going to be
Falcon.
So this is a super fun figure.
Falcon.
And the design team working with Jesse. We've got
a mí me gusta cómo está su traje dividido aquí en su pecho, el águila. Está padre, me gusta.
And then a third new figure for 2022 is going to be Venom. This is a
este Venom, man. Es como de esos gruesotes, así como lo es.
Let's take a look at the card art.
Está chidito,
Super fun. So, yeah, that is
está muy, muy bueno. Me gusta más o menos el molde, se ve bien, el color es bueno.
Jesse, did you want to just say a quick word about how much we love working on this retro segment of toys, you know, that might have existed in some alternate reality?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like this is totally true. I have a reoccurring dream about toys where I find this place in the city, and I find these toys that, you know, I wanted to have existed
tiene un montón de
when
cómics.
I was 12 years old, when I was a kid, and that's what this line.
Yo tengo unos 5 nada más.
It gives me so much joy to see all these new iterations of these characters in this form factor, and how cool the card art is. The packaging is just as important to the experience as the product is, and very much looking forward to expanding this line into the future.
Definitely. So let's shift gears now. We're going to go to one of our first special Marvelous guests. Dan actually had the chance to speak with this guest. So Dan, why don't you cue up this nice interview segment?
Yeah, thanks guys. So earlier this week, I had the pleasure and honor of talking just briefly with one of my favorite Marvel writers right now. I know him from this year's event of King in Black. So without further ado, let's go to this pre-recorded segment where I got to talk with Donny Cates. Donny is one of my favorite writers right now in Marvel. He is a superstar. You might have seen his work with Doctor Strange, Thanos, Cosmic Ghost Rider, of course, Venom.
Me perdí. Le pregunto algo, pero en lo que traducía se me fue la onda.
And I'm super excited because in the fall, his first issue of Hulk is coming out. So, without, you know, being too geeked out,
creo que es quien.
I just want to say thank you. Welcome, Donny, to our Hasbro PulseCon Marvel Legends panel, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man, and thank you so much for having me here. I mean, really the only thing that you didn't hit in my whole discography there is that I am also a huge toy and statue nerd. So I'm totally stoked to be here and excited to find out, really honestly, why I'm here. But I'm sure we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, we did keep Donny sort of in the dark. So he's sort of in the dark of the surprise that we have. So stay tuned until the end to see the little reveal that we have with Donny here. So first, straight off from the bat, you said that you collect statues. Can you just kind of talk through your origin story when it comes to, you know, statues, action figures, and things of that nature?
Yeah, totally. Actually, weirdly enough, that's actually the reason I'm even here. The reason I ever got to comics was because of toys and stuff. We were pretty poor, and
algunos de los cómics.
My parents couldn't afford to get me the statues and the toys and all that kind of stuff. And so I actually started. I read an article with Randy Bowen, right? And he kind of did like a tutorial of how to walk people through. You know, making their own statues and stuff. And so my parents could afford clay, so they bought me clay, and so I just started sculpting.
Está explicando de la complejidad o
30 statues over the course of from all the way through high school. I would do Venom and Hulk and all these things.
Hulk.
Weirdly enough, after I went and ran a chain of comic book shops here in Austin for a while, and then when those closed down, I applied to art school because I wanted to be in comics, and I actually ended up getting a scholarship to that college because of my sculptures, with sculptures of Venom. Weirdly enough, I know that sounds made up, but that's totally true. And so what's cool for me now is that like, I'm not a huge collector of comics. Weirdly enough, like I tend to give away all my comics to my friends and stuff like that. I don't like to keep copies of my own books in the house.
Ok, vamos a tener Fearbex Action Figures de Hero, Villains y hashtag updates. Now on chat.
Because I was raised and
vamos a votar.
Access to these cool toys and these cool statues and stuff, I indulge myself now because I can afford it. I buy all of the statues, and so every new book that I write, as soon as I finish the first issue of it and turn it in, I treat myself and I go and buy a statue of whatever character I'm doing. And so you can't see it on camera, but just right over there across the way from my house is a huge collection of Venoms and Hulks and Cosmic Ghost Riders and Thanoses and all that kind of stuff.
Ok, so, es lo malo de no hablar bien fluido el...
Kind of stuff. I find them to be such intensely like beautiful handcrafted pieces of just like of art, you know, like even down to like a, you know, like a pop figure, or, you know, especially you guys' stuff. I mean, there's so much craft and so much love put into those things. And as someone who at least used to be a sculptor, it's something that I really appreciate.
Yeah, shout out to our sculpting team always. They never get as much shine as they deserve. But that's so interesting to hear because, you know, for me too, you know, my parents, you know, we kind of grew up a little not the wealthiest, right? So I had one Spider-Man toy that, you know, used to be the main titular character in my head, you know, and I would create stories around him with like a Beanie Baby.
Los estrellas de Spider-Man le están preguntando o comentando.
Yeah, totally.
Like, so moving away specifically from toys just a little bit, just so that our fans can know more about, you know, the comic book development process and story development process, like, what is your process like when it comes
Ese es el que va a salir de la retro.
Characters, right? Like, for instance, like I chose my Spider-Man toy, and then I created a story around it. Like for you, when it comes to, you know, with Marvel, I'm sure they kind of give you like a list, hopefully, of like characters. Do you just like go through a list and pick a character, and then you're like, oh, I need to? That's the start of the process. Like, what's your process like when it comes to all the special Marvel characters that you have?
There's no real one set way that it goes down. I mean, sometimes, yeah, it very much is. I mean, I have an exclusive contract with Marvel, and so
lo que platican, vamos a ver qué más.
For a number of years, and I have to be writing a certain amount of books, right? And so, you know, when it's something like, you know, like when like Doctor Strange started to like wrap down, once I start to get into like my final 6 issues or whatever I'm going to be doing, right, we'll have a big conversation and they'll kind of tell me what's available right now. Or I mean, it's been the complete other way, because like with Venom, that was a character that as soon as I got to the company, I started putting it in everyone's ear that I wanted it. I was just like, I don't want to take a job away from anybody, but if it becomes available, I have a dream for that book. I have
to plant the seed, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. And so, like that and Thor as well. Thor was a book that, like, right when I got there, you know, Jason Aaron was still very much at the helm of that book, and I was such a baby writer at the company but I still made it very known. I was like, hey, whenever Jason ends his run, if it's next year or 10 years from now, I'd really like to be the guy who follows him. And I had so many editors say, like, that's the most dangerous job in the world, is to follow Jason Aaron on Thor. And I was like, yeah, I know, but someone's got to do it, right? So I'll be the idiot who jumps on that grenade. That's fine. But, you know, with something like Thor, it's such a big title. It's such a marquee, like, A-list book, you know, and the pedigree of writers on that over the years is a powerhouse list, right? And at the time, like I said, I was just
Ya me aburrí, pasemos a las figuras.
taking off the way that it did, and some of the other books that I did taking off the way that they did for them to finally trust me to kind of put me on a bigger book, you know. And now, like you said, now Marvel has seen fit to give me the two most powerful characters in the entire pantheon, Thor and Hulk. And we'll see if that was a good move by them or not, because I plan on breaking a lot of things.
No, I can tell you again, like I've been loving Thor, and you've already killed it with Venom already, and yeah, I can't wait for Hulk. I can't tell you how much I am anticipating for that book, man. One of the things that, you know, our team really focuses on is that the character design is so important and so amazing, you know what I mean? And sometimes you have the ability to, you know, you created some titular characters now, like Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Pues hasta ahorita llevamos un pack exclusivo de Wolverine y Phoenix con otras 3 figuras retro de 3.75, un Mr. Fantástico, un Falcon y un Venom de The Amazing Spider-Man de Marvel Legends Kenner. Eso vamos hasta ahorita de figuras de Marvel. Y ahorita están hablando sobre algunos personajes que escribieron o que formó parte de él, ¿no?
Ryan Otley or Ryan Stegman or, you know, whoever in the industry that you love, or these great artists, and you can pay them to draw a character for you. That's really cool, right? But my job is that I get them to draw cool stuff for me, and then they pay me. Like, I have the coolest job in the entire world, you know? And so, like, with something like Cosmic Ghost Rider, I had seen a piece of tattoo flash.
Vamos a lo importante.
My good friend and my tattoo artist.
Todos queremos ver qué figuras van a sacar.
This drawing of this like skeleton on a bike, and it was like in space, and the front wheel was this burning ball of plasma. And I just kind of looked over it as I was getting a tattoo, and I was like, dude, Ghost Rider in space would be awesome. How has no one done that? And then I went to Jeff Shaw and I started talking to him about it, and then the Frank Castle of it all kind of started to make more sense, you know. You know, that's the thing about Ghost Rider, right? Is that like he's a character a lot like Venom.
Mucha plática ya.
He's a character that just first and foremost just looks badass. It just looks really cool, like airbrushed on the side of a van, right? And then, you know, you do that, and then you add a little bit of character depth to it, and give him a backstory, and give him some, you know, kind of a cool vibe and a cool style and everything. And I guess, you know, sometimes you make a really cool thing that people like and tattoo on them, which is very odd and weird, and people cosplay as, and now there's action figures and statues, and it's all very surreal. But yeah, it's definitely like we have a in Venom, Ryan Stegman and I made this character Null, and you know that was I say big long, but like it was a process working with Stegman to get this design of Null down, and he was inspired by the idea because Null is like the god of the abyss and lives in absolute perpetual darkness in the void. And so the idea of this look was kind of like deep sea fish that are like, you know, like super pale and kind of see through and stuff like that. And they're not exposed to light, and their eyes are very big, right? And even if you look, Noel even has little like slits on his mouth, like gills.
He does.
And then, you know, we wanted to add those big Venom teeth, and then we wanted to, you know, do the symbols and all this kind of stuff. And it really, it just like maybe, I think maybe in the world there exists 2 drawings of Null before we got to the final design. Like Ryan and I pretty much like snapped into it really quick.
So Donnie, it's really funny that, you know, you talked about, you know, Null a lot. I did have a question though. Have you seen a Marvel character that you think needs a new Marvel Legends figure or, you know, action figure? What are your thoughts? What are you thinking?
I think you're leading me up for a surprise, aren't you? Because I think you already know the answer. Because the answer is quite obviously the Lord of the Abyss, the God of the Symbiotes himself, Null. Do you have something for me?
You know, I can't deceive you, you know what I mean? So without further ado, how about we reveal for the first time to all of our fans and to the public, the first ever Marvel Legends Null figure. So take a look. Let us know.
No.
Dude, no way.
Sacaron el personaje de su historia.
Oh, what are your first thoughts on this Null, man? What are you feeling?
I'm a very proud dad, man. I gotta tell you, that is a killer sculpt.
Está muy vergas, la neta. El diseño de la espada con los reflejos. Es que sangre, parece cosa como Venom. Está muy chida, la neta. La araña roja. Está muy cool, la neta, esa la volaron. No sé cómo se llama la historia que escribió. No llegué a leer.
With my friend, and it's really amazing. It's such an honor. It looks great.
No, final product Mayberry.
Like you said, you're the daddy. You and Stegman have created such a cool character that is so toyetic, as we'd like to say, right? It's such a cool character with cool designs. So, but you've also worked on tons of other characters too within Marvel, and they haven't been made into an action figure form.
No.
So, just thinking about all the other characters that you've worked on, what do you think needs its own action figure? You've seen Null already. What's another character that you've already worked on that you think, you know, would be perfect for as a Marvel Legend?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind
is Null, sí es cierto, se llama Null.
Maybe 10, 12 inches in height of me. Just me in general. Just like, you know, you could like give me like a dog or something like that. That might be fun. You know, you could like do one of those things where you like put like water on it, my tattoos appear, something.
Está muy vergas, la neta, el diseño de esa figura, que la saquen. Sí.
Right? Yeah. Nick Klein's new design for the Thor costume in our Thor run, with the rune on his chest and everything is great. And also, I mean, the Herald costume that he had in our first run would be amazing. From that same Thor run, you have new designs for Beta Ray Bill. He has this cool like horse's mane kind of a thing, which I adore. And also Beta Ray Bill, because he lost his hammer, he's now wielding Searcher's Twilight sword. So he's this big ass this like big anime sword over his shoulder, which is just awesome. And you guys have got to do like a little mini Throg. A little baby Throg just like hanging out on someone's shoulder would be dope. And then like, you know, in my Doctor Strange run, there was a character called Bats, who was a ghost dog who's still in the book. And
that's right.
Just Doctor Strange's cool ghost dog friend. Oh, and you know what? Also, in that Doctor Strange run, Strange went to Asgard and stole a branch off of the World Tree and became the god of magic. And his god of magic gear with his like new staff and everything, that'd be a great toy. Really, everything is the answer. Everything I've ever done is the answer of what I want.
Yeah, we'll just have to create the Donny Cates wave. You know what I mean? Every single character.
Yeah.
We'll give you.
Yeah. And also, and I'll say this last thing, for fans of the who follow, you know, the comic books and everything. I know we're. I'll go into a bit of a tease. My upcoming Hulk run with Ryan Otley is going to have a brand new design for Hulk as he goes interstellar in our first arc called Smashtronaut. And then as the series goes on, there might just be a brand new character making a first appearance. And that character, I got to say, would be a pretty rad toy, but you'll have to wait and see.
Oh man, we're gonna have to go offline and talk this through, man. You and I will have to Zoom each other and talk about it. But fans and Donnie, thank you for joining us, man. It was truly an honor just
Sí,
to
sí,
have
muchas
you
gracias.
toys, talking about Null. Hope you love the Null.
Se elaboraron con el
I will
personaje de
send you
Null,
the
la
earliest
verdad.
sample that we
Muy,
have.
muy
You
chulo.
can do an unboxing maybe for us. We'll see,
absolutely. Done. You got it.
Espero lo saquen pronto porque la verdad es que sí está
fans,
muy,
from
muy
us.
bueno.
I want to say thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for the rest of our PulseCon panel. But Donnie, thanks again, man. You are truly a superstar, and I'm geeking out truly right now. So thank you, brother.
The pleasure's all mine, man. Thank you so much.
All right. Peace out, fans. Peace, Donnie.
Peace.
Thank you again, Donnie, for taking some time to talk toys. I honestly learned a lot. I didn't know he had like a sculpting background, but I'm sure most of you caught it. But this was the first time we ever created a Null Marvel Legends figure. Dwight, can you talk us a little bit more about the Null that Donnie just revealed today?
Sure, man. Well, I can tell you a little bit about it. The figure is
A ver,
absolutely
continuemos.
spectacular. I think it's going to stand around 8 inches tall. I can't tell you anything about the character himself because I've learned a long time ago not to lie to you guys and pretend I know stuff that I don't know because it always blows up in your face. And I'm still reading a lot of 80s Fantastic Four back when I was doing research for Galactus, so I have not got around to reading King in Black or any of the actual books on him. But the figure itself is stunning. It has 2 head sculpts. He's got his giant sword with all of the symbiote goo wriggling around it. He's about 8 inches tall in production, and all the articulation you'd expect from Marvel Legends. He's just this really cool, evil-looking Dark Knight character. With all of that armor and goo,
Dark Knight.
and, the awesome Venom. What we know kind of is that Venom crest in red across his chest. So really cool figure, and I think he's going to be an awesome centerpiece to the Spider-Verse because of his height. When you
No sé si me equivoco, pero se parece mucho a Red Guardian.
I'm super excited to get that Null. I believe he's around 8 inches tall, and he comes with that really cool all-black Necro Sword accessory. And again, for me, I was nerding out. You could see how much I was smiling and laughing just because I love reading Donnie's stuff. So thank you again, Donnie. And I can also confirm, if Ryan and Jesse let me, but I can confirm
La
that
caja
in 2022 there will be another
del Centinela está enorme.
based off one of the characters that Donnie wrote. So stay tuned, fans of Donnie. There's more to come in 2022. So let's kind of stick with 2022 and kind of go through a little bit. One more reveal. Walgreens this year, we had a theme of cosmic characters. And in 2022, we sort of have a mini theme to finally reveal to you guys here at Hasbro PulseCon. And so for today, we're going to reveal the first character or first item within our Walgreens exclusive program for 2022. This figure has not really come out in classic form since 2014. Ryan, correct me if that's wrong. But it is none other than Baron Zemo. Let's take a look. Look at that. Dwight, take us through Baron Zemo, man.
De la serie de supervillanos, ahora nos muestran un varón sin. No manches, el que yo tenía del cómic traía esta pistola y traía aquí esa cosa abajo como un taparrabo, y esto solo trae una espada, una cosa ahí, una faja. Se ve muy simple, no sé, a mi gusto no me gusta. En mi opinión, más bien dicho, no me gusta.
I don't think we're doing the other versions just yet. Stay tuned. But our first lead-in for
¿Qué opinan ustedes? ¿Qué onda?
Yeah, so fans, go on the message boards. Let's see what other villains you think are going to come out in 2022 with Walgreens.
No sé, a mí se me hace muy simple esta
figura. Pre-order today, starting at 4 o'clock.
No sé.
Let's take it to some of the items that I really love that came out this year. So from this year,
Tigra y Hércules.
Tigra and Hercules on these
A quien le interese ya me vienen Hércules, así que pueden venir a pedirlos con mucho gusto.
Is actually going to be on a card bag very similar to this, and it is none other
Acuérdense,
than
pero
the
está feo la
Scarlet
verdad.
Witch. Now,
Es
Scarlet
buenísimo,
Witch,
sí, la verdad,
there she
sí.
is. If you remember, she came
¿Y
out
estas
in
son
our
nuevas
Family
figuras
Members 3
o
pack
qué
in
onda?
2019. Dwight, you want to take us through Scarlet Witch?
Sure.
Chida, la Scarlet Witch.
Wanda here on
Me
the
gusta,
awesome
se ve genial,
There we go.
¡Hala!
I got
Está
a lot of
muy
took out the metallics.
vergas, la neta.
Last time we did her, she was very
El
shiny.
diseño de
She
la
had
cara
metallic sheen to her
me
pinks.
gusta, el
We wanted to
moldeado,
give something more
la
classic
pintura,
because of the
no sé.
retro feel of these cards. So she's got quadruple magic effects. She's got the big rings. She's got the mystic smoke that can wrap up her forearms.
Sí, es estilo retro, sí, así es.
Red and pink.
Estilo retro. Esa sin duda vamos a traerla en preventa. Espero que no sea exclusiva. Está muy cool esa Scarlet Witch. Para todos los que les gusta el diseño retro, está muy muy bueno,
WandaVision, wrapping up and getting those characters to be known in a more depth.
Muy bueno. Se la sacaron de la manga, la neta.
Obviously, just made a lot of sense to get her back out for you if you missed the Family Matters 3-pack.
That was a perfect segue, Dwight. You're such a pro, man. Seriously.
Después de haber sacado un varoncísimo todo feo, nos mandaron un Scarlet Witch. Está muy chido. Ese es un White Vision, por lo que entiendo, ¿no? Sí, versión retro igual.
The last time we put this figure out, this character out, I should say, was in 2015, and again, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but Dwight, why don't you take us through Vision here?
Yeah, as you can see, he's got all.
No sé, no me gusta la cara, no sé, no le queda a White Vision. Y los pies como en forma de humano tampoco me gustan. Me hubiera gustado más como pues el White Vision como viene, como si fuera una bota. Pero en sí no me gusta, es... no sé.
Details pop a little bit better, but
se ve raro.
The West Coast Avengers logo on the front and back. Just looks, it's a lot of fun. He's got his weird bare feet. I don't know why this version of him didn't wear shoes, but I guess if you're an android, you don't need shoes. You can do whatever you want.
Pero sin duda me gusta más la White Vision. White Vision, la bruja, la Scarlet Witch.
So again, starting today at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, if you are a Hasbro Pulse Premium member, you will be able to pre-order the White Vision and Scarlet Witch. Make sure, as I always say, you have to have one in and one out. And yeah, let's build that retro card back collection. Ryan, I think you're going to introduce our next guest for today, so take it away, my friend.
That's right. Our next guest is friend of Marvel Legends, amazing artist. He does great work for Marvel Comics and other projects. This is David Nakayama. We had a chance to interview him, chat about
Marvel Comics, a ver qué más nos traen.
Will help us with a new reveal via a one-of-a-kind sketch. So let's take a look at our chat with David.
All
right, so we are here with David Nakayama joining us. Artist David, thank you so much for joining us first off amidst your busy schedule, and welcome to PulseCon.
Thank you for having me. This is so cool. I'm honored.
Yeah, so for those fans in the know, right, and familiar with our Legends packaging, David has done a lot of great work on some various Legends items, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But David, for any fans who may not, know your face and maybe just your name, tell us just what kind of projects you do and what you work on these days.
Well, I've been in game development. I've been doing comic books for years and years. Started freelancing a few years ago, and now I do every cool thing I can get my hands on, including games, comics, and of course toys, which I love to do.
Sin duda están muy chidas. Bueno, el Scarlet Witch, el White Vision, la verdad no me gustó, no sé qué vean ustedes.
At least, and some fans may not know this, but when it comes to all your fantastic comic covers, which you guys know well, you actually do it all. You're a triple threat. You do the pencils, the inks, and the colors. I don't know how common that is, but can you speak to kind of how you learned to do all the trade crafts?
Thanks. Yeah, traditionally in comics, most people want to be the penciler, right? And then other artists come
Ay,
in
el
and
póster
finish and
del
polish the art.
Spider-Man
But,
del
what happened to me is
PlayStation 4
I went
está bien
off into
chulito.
video game land for many years and sort of
Video
battlefield
game, a ver.
color. And so when I came back to comics, I had that new skill, and it made me a little different, I hope, than other people, and offer something a little
Ojalá nos den algo bueno.
unique in the marketplace. So yeah, I rely on those Photoshop painting skills quite a bit to add the detail and nuance that I like in my work.
A one-stop shop. That's really cool. Yeah, didn't know that. You know, knew about your covers work, but didn't actually until I researched that know that you were doing you were doing everything. So that's really cool. And you know, as David mentioned at the top, you know, we're here to talk toys, and David's done a lot of great Legends work. And we actually have a special treat for a little later in this segment. David did a brand new sketch to help us reveal an upcoming Marvel Legends figure. But before we get to that, can you just for the fans quickly describe what it's like working with Ben and the Hasbro Marvel packaging team, and how that process kind of goes from start to finish, from when you get briefed on an item to the final product, which you see some examples behind me here.
Yeah, it's really fun. So Ben will send me a brief about what's been done already. In a lot of cases, the characters have been at least designed in a 3D way. So I know what it's going to look like. I generally know what the colors are and where they are spaced and the general style that you guys have come up with. And then I'll pitch a series of roughs, you know, kind of figuring out how the art might look in the specific space that we have on the side of the box most of the time. And then we'll go back and forth until we find something that fits the bill. And of course, we're always trying to keep an eye on an overall set in a lot of cases. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 7 characters, and you're trying to make sure that when those are all laid out next to each other, that they look great as well. So at some point, we'll have an approval with you guys, with Marvel, and then I'll actually get in there and draw it. And occasionally, sometimes during the process, we'll want to make corrections based on something Marvel needs. Maybe something's been recolored. It's a very interesting collaborative thing that we do.
Yeah, shout out to Ben and the rest of the packaging team, you know? Just going back to that process, just so people know, like, the timeline, right? Like, how long does that timeline usually take, too?
To actually make the art, or when it's a toy on the shelf?
Like, yeah, so, like, once Ben initiates that until, like, the end, where, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, I feel like it plays out over no more than 1 or 2 months at most. You know, like he'll call me and we'll need something maybe, you know, in that 6 weeks to 8 weeks time frame. It happens pretty fast.
¿Qué más? A ver.
I think, which is good, because you don't want to sit on something. You want to, you know, that spark of creativity and excitement.
¿Qué más?
And it does.
Yeah, our team really appreciates your timing, because you pump it out, like you said, usually within a month. So we appreciate that a lot, man. And it's always dope stuff, man.
Thank you so much.
That's a good point about the cohesiveness, because David's done a bunch of Build-A-Figure waves for us, right? For example, the Deadpool Strong Guy wave, and then both Age of Apocalypse waves, and then, you know, we are every year. So if you have all 14 AOA Build-A-Figure figures lined up, that they're all going to look, you know, great next to each other. So not to put you on the spot, but what would you say are some of your favorite Marvel, Hasbro items that you've worked on?
Oh, they're all so good. I mean, that's really tough to answer. But I got into comics and comic art specifically because of X-Men. Like, I saw a Jim Lee X-Men comic book in the mid-90s or something, or sorry, early 90s. And I just fell in love. And I was like, well, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And so whenever you guys offer me an X-Men thing, it has a special place in my heart. I'm not going to lie. But, you know, some of the other stuff we've been doing, like the Deadpools and the secret yet to be announced stuff, it has been really fun too. I guess I'm just like a big Marvel nerd, you know, like I love all those characters, and there's really no loser for me. They're all fun. And I've read a book with just about everything that crosses my desk. So I have that personal connection and like of those characters.
speaking of your fandom, I was listening to a podcast you did, and you spoke about really being a Transformers fan from back in the 80s, like a lot of us. So for those fans who have it, behind me is the Transformers collaborative Blackbird jet, basically the ultimate expanse. And then David did the awesome artwork you see there. So was that fun working on Transformers and Marvel together all in one package?
Oh my gosh, what could be better, right? Like, before I was a Marvel fan, I was a giant Transformers fan. The only toy line I had all of, that I was asking for Christmas all the time. I had Optimus Prime one year, I had Metroplex, a couple of years later. That was my bag for many years. And, Marvel came along later, but I mean, both are amazing. To put them together is so unique. Has it ever happened before? I don't even know. But it was an instant yes. I could not say, sign me up fast enough.
Chicos, me dio hambre.
That item came out great, and I did want to close on this sort of hopefully fun question, right? So that Transformer has what appears to be a trio of powers. You've got the Psylocke psionic effect, you've got the Cyclops visor for some optic blast, and then you've got Wolverine claws. So if you could pick 3 different X-Men powers to combine into one, who would you pick?
Well, I gotta have flight, so take it from whoever you want. A lot of people can fly. That's the critical power whenever you're asking this question. And then you have to be invulnerable, so you can survive the super flight. So pick that from, let's call it Colossus.
Logical.
Right, and then for fun, let's throw in some Cyclops I-beams. Because that'd be awesome, just nuke people from orbit.
So as part of PulseCon, David was nice enough to do a new sketch for us to help reveal a Marvel Legends 2022 upcoming figure. And so we're going to take a look at the various stages of that sketch. So David, talk us through sort of how this all came to be and the different steps throughout the process.
Sure, thanks. So when I'm starting a sketch, the critical thing is well, who is this character? What is their deal? What are they about? What are their powers? I'm thinking about how can I show that characterization in just one frame in a sketch? So for the character in question, who I'm going to dance around who this is, but you're thinking about the element of their power. You're thinking about their personality type. Are they a kindly and good person? Are they mean and evil? This kind of thing. You're thinking about that, and that sets the stage for how you're going to pose them. So the body language and the facial expression and energy pouring off, and these sort of things get pop into your head right away at the beginning, just based on the characters. After that, it's you're penciling it, and you're starting to think about well, how do the eyes line up, and certain considerations about anatomy. And of course, when you're working in pencil live, on paper, you don't have the luxury of using a computer. There's no undo button. There's no do-overs. So it can be a little tricky, for someone like me who mostly works on the computer. I'm not used to it necessarily, but I'll do my best when I'm drawing by hand. Make sure everything's lined up best I can. Once I feel confident about it, then I'll go in with inks. I have a series of, Faber-Castell Pitt pens and, Sharpies for big blacks, that sort of thing. Get all those lines, nice and crisp. And then finally, it's, I have a series of Copic markers, alcohol markers, and then also some Prismacolors. And the combination of the two, different colors work better in different pen types. I'll put those down in layers to create the sense of, black and white, contrast. And then finally, my favorite part, up until this point, I feel like the whole thing is, touch and go. It may not work. It's just not coming together. I finally get in there with this little this little white pen and pick out little details like the sheen on the nose or the eye or a rim light around the figure. And that's when it finally comes together for me. So there's a sort of patience that I have to have, knowing that it's going to come together in the end, but not being able to see it up until the last minute. That's the nerve-wracking part.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing it here, the final product here is clearly, you said this was an X-Men character. Powers. This is Vulcan here, which is an exciting character. We've never had him before in Marvel Legends. He's the third Summers brother, as we know, and so yeah, we're taking a look at him here. So this is super exciting for this figure, and Yeah, and so this is coming to your Legends collections in 2022. David did the packaging artwork for this, so this was another stab at a sketch. Just for those fans who maybe haven't, worked with an artist like yourself at a convention, how does the process go if someone comes to you and says, "Hey, this is my favorite character. Can you do a custom piece for me?" Do they give you like
Voy a leer comentarios porque no los he leído. Aguántame un ratito.
Your take on it?
It really varies. For me, it's, I guess I should say, to start with, it's sort of it's a time sensitive and exclusive kind of thing, right? Like I only have a certain amount of time during any show to even do them at all. So there's this thing that happens on Thursday at the beginning of every show. Everyone is running to the artist table trying to get their request in before the artist list is closed for the entire weekend.
Pues Spider-Man, quién sabe si saquen. Ahí dijeron que va a haber van a estar anunciando figuras de Sam Raimi, no estoy seguro, por ahí fue una noticia o un ¿cómo se llama esto? Ay, se me fue el nombre. Un rumor de que iban a sacar figuras por el aniversario también del sorprendente Hombre Araña, de X-Men. Bueno, ya vimos algunas de X-Men. Pues hay que seguir esperando a ver qué sacan porque pura plática oigo aquí.
Yeah, going back to you're able to do it all, right?
I try. For me, it's just so incomplete without the color. It just doesn't feel interesting or finished without that. So if you were to look at my Instagram, there's nothing black and white. Like going back thousands of posts, I'm just not that excited about black and white.
Well, I mean, so now's your chance.
Este hermoso es Stonebreaker que tiene, me gusta un chingo. Tengo el mío, ¿no? Me gusta un chingo.
Not to ask you,
It's really kind of, at this point, I'm fortunate, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to, take on the projects that I like, both in freelance and then also when it comes to these sketches. So if someone says, "Hey, I want you to draw my original character," or "Hey, I want you to draw my girlfriend," or something like that, which, no one's ever happy with the results of that. So, that's the kind of thing I'm going to say no to. If the character is really, really, really obscure, like
no me pueden anunciar una segunda wave, what if?
Then maybe I'm less interested.
Pero ese Ultron.
I'm thinking in the back of my head that I want these to be social media posts at the end, like the artwork is gone. I'll never have it again. They have it. And I purposefully undercharge for them. I know I'm worth more in the marketplace than what I actually charge, but kind of the idea is to democratize this. Let the fans have their crack at some original art, or at least I'm trying for that to happen. For the most part, I will try to give people what they ask for, but there are those little edge exceptions that I try to avoid.
So those are tips for any folks who come find you at the conventions to get there.
You heard it here first.
If I were to go to your table, David, I would probably see if you could do trading cards because I've made it well known that I'm a big trading card fan, and I was just so happy to learn a couple of years back that you did this Fleer Ultra 2018 set. Like I think I saw you posting it on your social, and so what was that like to do something a different medium a little bit?
Oh, it was really kind of a dream come true. Like we were talking before
about
growing up in the 90s and loving Marvel stuff. Well, if you were a comic fan of that era, you were definitely buying Marvel Universe trading cards series 1 and 2, right? And then also the Jim Lee X-Men set that came in between, I think. To me, the pinnacle of trading cards, as we know it, was that Jim Lee X-Men set. So if someone's going to offer me the opportunity to draw X-Men trading cards, that's something I got to do at least once in my life. I had to say yes to that.
That set was a pretty limited run. I'm constantly checking eBay to see where I can pick some of them up. So that's kind of on my wish list. But so that we have a lot more for PulseCon. So David, thank you for joining us, and then fans, just so we know. So do you want to show them? Do you have the sketch there with you?
I do. Yes, I have it. I put it up on the screen. Here it comes.
Take a look at it. So there it comes. It's
Ah,
a
que es que
physical
se dibuja
sketch
bien chulo.
and one of a kind. And so we might have some special plans for that sketch. Stay tuned for more about that. We're still working on the details, but there you see it. David, tell the fans, if they don't already, they should, but if anyone doesn't, where can they follow you on the socials?
I'm really easy to find. I'm under my own name on every single major social. So David Nakayama, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Also ArtStation. Artists, you want to be on there. So hope you'll find me on ArtStation as well.
So go check out David's stuff. He'll continue to do Legends work for us. He's got that Vulcan and some other figures coming at least in 2022. And thanks again, man. We really appreciate chatting with you and sharing in your Marvel fandom and our collective fandom and learning a bit about your process. So thanks again.
Definitely my pleasure. Thank you guys a million for having me on.
Gracias por
Talk to
estar
you
aquí
soon.
con nosotros.
Yeah, peace out, man. Thanks, brother.
All right. Until next time.
Dios, Dios. No me digas que se van a hacer comerciales.
We really appreciate you putting the time and effort into that amazing Vulcan sketch. It was a pleasure to have David reveal the upcoming Vulcan X-Men Legends figure. Let's take a closer look at this render. I wanted to talk with Dwight and Jesse about the greater implications of this figure and this new body mold here. So let's take a look at Vulcan. We have a digital render.
X-Men está muy bien el diseño.
So Tony's team, amazing digital render, and so Dwight,
Muy
I know
padre,
we were
me
talking,
encanta.
we were saying how this is,
Simple pero bonito.
phasing out of the Bucky Cap mold and a new smooth pinless body for future applications, correct?
Correct. You're absolutely right, Ryan. Bucky's.
Lo malo es que solo es un render, entonces solo es un anuncio. No han sacado la película, la figura todavía.
Place to have the opportunity to make a new base for Marvel Legends going forward. And while Vulcan is not someone that would jump to the top of your mind, he gave us the perfect opportunity because of his design and the cleanness to go for broke and create an all-new base body. So Bucky can slowly start to be put to pasture, and now you guys can start using Vulcan as your call to arms when you see this new awesome body. It's approximately the same scale as Bucky Cap. And it does have some improvements, though. Along with the pinless elbows and knees, it also has butterflies in the shoulders, which is just always great to give you some extra posability. And it's a really solid build. I love it. I'm really proud of how this figure came out. And I think the overall adjustment of the proportions on the figure are going to be, right up most of your guys' likings, and can't wait for you guys to get him in hand to start seeing what you guys use this new body for, because I know all you amazing customizers and collectors always have some clever tricks up your sleeve. So can't wait to see what comes next.
All right, and so that Vulcan figure will be coming out in 2022 as part of our X-Men Legends offerings there. So let's take a quick detour now into the MCU. We've got a couple of new items to reveal in pre-order. First up is a new two-pack with two iconic characters. And so this is going to be our Captain America 2-pack. You see on the left, we have the Sam
Literalmente es un Cap digno y un Sam Wilson. ¿Es en serio?
Steve Rogers, Captain America from Avengers Endgame. And that
¿Es en serio? ¿Por qué? Porque, hijos de su madre. Se mamaron, la neta. Se mamaron.
It comes with our first Anthony Mackie ungoggled head sculpt, photoreal head sculpt. I think it looks great. Dwight, walk him through it.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. This pack is awesome. It's great to pay homage to the past as well as.
¿Es en serio? Y yo acabo de comprar mi Cap digno.
With our two great Captain
Lo único bueno de esto es que este Sam Wilson trae un cambio de cabeza, ¿no? Y muchos que no alcanzaron esa figura van a comprar el Cap digno, o comprar esa por el Cap digno, ¿no?
An awesome updated deco for Steve. With the striking, amazing head, which hair looks a lot like mine. He's a lot better looking than me and not as shaggy and disheveled. But boom, awesome alternate Steve, and yeah, super awesome to do our first ever
Que la cabeza se ve muy... Siento que la anterior es mejor que esta. No sé ustedes qué opinen. Pero se la volaron con ese pack. Se la volaron, neta, se la volaron.
Details went into them, tons of deco applications. They're a little bit more premium than what you guys got the first time around. And while Sam doesn't have his wings in this set, we think it's a really awesome two-pack.
Neta se la volaron,
I think it's going to look amazing and replace some of the other versions that you guys might have on your shelves already.
All right, and one more character from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. We are going to the flashback sequence from Bucky's memories, and we are doing an updated version of the Winter Soldier.
Lo único malo de esto es que Sam Wilson no tiene alas. Y el Capitán América no tiene el martillo de Thor. Y aquí otro soldado del invierno. Cuando nos cuentan la historia de Bucky Barnes, sale una escena donde sale vestido del soldado del invierno. Y aquí nos van a poner otra figura del soldado del invierno. Aunque esta se ve mejor que las anteriores figuras del soldado del invierno que salieron, déjenme decirles. Y además trae cambio de cabeza.
But in that flashback sequence, he decided to not wear his goggles. I guess he didn't need the eye protection. So, two new head sculpts, both of them with photoreal technology, and it looks awesome. An updated deco.
Pero ¿por qué Hasbro hace estas cosas? O sea, ¿para qué meter a un Sam Wilson?
And that allows us to do a lot of amazing things, but not always does that mean these figures are 100% accurate. So, by going back and revisiting, we got a chance to...
Si ya nos sacaron uno, ¿por qué no metieron, no sé, a Wong o yo qué sé?
As well as two new awesome likenesses for Sebastian. So,
les gusta hacernos sufrir a Hasbro. Que sinceramente sí está chido comprar ese pack, ¿no? Pero... ¿por qué? No. Aunque este soldado del invierno sí vale la pena comprarlo.
All right, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to our friend Jesse. He's a busy man. Jesse, thanks for joining us at PulseCon, and I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Guys, you're the best. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Have a great PulseCon. Take care, everybody.
See you,
buddy. ¿Es en serio? ¿Eso es todo?
All right, so as we say goodbye to Jesse, we'll say hello to our third special guests in our interview segment. So we were very privileged, Dan and I, to chat with Eric and Julia Lewald from the 90s X-Men animated series to talk about their experience on that show, what the show's legacy means for fans today, and they will perhaps help us reveal some new Legends figures. So let's throw it to that. If you're a fan of X-Men, the animated series, which a lot of you are, these guests need no introduction. But just as a reminder, right, we're so fortunate to be joined by Eric and Julia Lewald here. They basically gave us our childhoods, as it were. So Eric was the showrunner for X-Men, the animated series, and Julia was a writer and key contributor. She wrote episodes like Days of Future Past, which are, you know, amongst the best ever. So guys, thank you again for taking some time to chat with us, and welcome to PulseCon.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, so I just, you know, Dan, I think
Estoy ocupado, tía.
But right, you know, as a child of the 90s, I just wanted to thank you both. I know you hear this very often, but we wanted to express our gratitude for all those great memories. And I think for a lot of fans like myself, this cartoon show was the jumping off point for fandom. Like it led me to the comic books, the trading cards, the video games, and then, you know, into adulthood, into collecting, and now getting to share it with my son and daughter eventually. So, you know, can't thank you guys enough. So yeah, I just wanted to just jump right in here. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to chat for a little bit. There's so much we could talk for hours, but we've got a couple of questions, and then Eric and Julia are going to help us reveal some new Marvel Legends product that are very heavily inspired by the animated series and an homage to that show that we all know and love so much. So, guys, as we just reflect back on the show, you know, it premiered in October of 1992. It's going to be almost 30 years next year. Just wondering, you know, with Marvel being in such a different place nowadays, at the forefront of pop culture and mainstream media, what comes to mind just as you reflect on 30 years ago, bringing the X-Men to television screens, all across the world for pretty much the first time?
It's like the world's turned upside down. It was like before and after Flight or something, because the wonderful lady, the president of this new Fox little network that we just started there, she'd been wanting to try to get the show on for 10 years, and nobody in Hollywood thought X-Men could be successful. They just, it's comic book, if you come.
Bueno, aquí parece que van a haber figuras de X-Men.
Watch this show. And there had not been any Marvel movies in 1992, and so nobody had really a reference point to believe in it, but she really did. And so she got the creative people together. She worked with Marvel. She got this thing on the air at the possible cost of her job.
Yep.
Yeah, because her boss didn't believe in it either at Fox. So here was this little orphan show that, looking back, she told us 85-90% of our audience on Saturday morning is not going to know who the X-Men are.
Think about that. That was reality. That's how back in '92.
Was. There wasn't a genre of movies or TV shows that was superheroes. There'd be once a decade, there'd be a Batman movie or two or a Superman movie or two, and that was it. There was not this whole world, this culture of superheroes.
Oh.
And so we were hired on. We did the best job we could as fast as we could writing the first season. And then all the creative people, the writers and artists, were let go because the network thought it wasn't going to be successful.
So before it even aired, we were all fired.
We were all working on other shows when it came out, and suddenly it was this huge #1 hit, and then it played all over the world and got hundreds of millions of fans. Okay, that's very cool. They had to call us back real fast. Can you drop what you're doing now, please, and come back? And most of us could, and some of us couldn't. But that's how different the world was in 1992. They didn't even bother to have a contract for a second season for any of us.
Well, we're very thankful that they got most of you back to continue with what would run for several seasons there. And in your interviews and books, you go into detail how executives like Margaret Loesch and your team and Larry Houston had a lot of meetings and with the higher ups, and there were maybe some creative differences up front on the tone of the show and the plot lines and the characterizations. And and Margaret famously kind of put her career on the line, as I think a lot of you guys did, to make the show a success. So just broadly speaking, what advice would you give to other people, who are trying to balance internal passion and motivations and what they think is right with a lot of the external expectations and more quantifiable measures of success? How did you get through it all?
Let me suggest that you surround yourself with the perfect team, because part of, I think, the magic of X-Men was that on the writing side, many of the folks who were working on the writing side, as I was as a writer, don't stone me here, but I did not know the X-Men. Again, this is 1992. So I was bringing, and many of us were bringing a passion to telling the best stories we could with whoever these characters happened to be. And on the artist side, Larry Houston, Will Mineo, they all knew the X-Men chapter and verse. They grew up with these and they loved them. So between those two sides of the same coin, we were all in service of the best story we could tell, the best way we could tell it, given the constrictions of time and money. And I think all of us at different points, it's like, no, we all want to do the same thing.
Sigo pensando en ese pack, no sé qué le pasó.
We were lucky. I mean, what our advice is,
voy a llorar.
Bosses, because who you're working for, because most of the people that work on this show have worked on many other shows and simply have not been allowed to draw or write as ambitiously as we did on this show. Constantly, it's certain people have preconception of what children can and should be watching, and so it's always dumb it down, simplify, take the big words out. We've had big fights on other shows where we'd come to just a dead end, and it's just okay, either
voy a quedar pobre, amigos.
or you leave. And when we were younger and starting a family, we didn't have the luxury to say, I'm sorry, this is not what we want to write, goodbye. we stuck it out and finished the series. And it's just an individual decision. Sometimes the characters and the job means just enough to you, and there were enough people. There was a critical mass of people involved in this that getting it right was important. Some people involved in the show just wanted to make money or not lose money. Some people didn't understand the characters or were anxious that we're going to put off. And young viewers, there were a dozen different. There are always different motivations for the people involved in a large project. There's so many folks involved with so much at stake. And in this case, there was this critical mass of people who said, we're not changing it. I'm sorry, you can fire all of us, but we just don't think the show works any other way but what we've decided. And your call. The
right team, the right boss. There you go.
The right team, the right boss, and start with the right project, because there are an awful lot of things we've been hired to do that there's just, X-Men has a lot of possibilities built into it just by the concept. And you do what you can with somebody else's original material. This was a really bountiful setup, and so all those good things came together for us. It was like magic, and we kind of knew it when we were going through it that this was a special deal, and we never took it for granted, and it just we never had an opportunity like it before since.
Yeah, and thanks to your dedication and your team's, familiarity with the source material and really leaning into those X-Men stories, dealing with themes that were ahead of their time, definitely for kids television, but not dumbing it down. I think it speaks to the longevity of it, and it's why, now this whole series is available immediately at our fingertips on Disney+. And so you've got adults who have children of their own, like myself, who are, starting to introduce their kids to the show. What is it like to just hear that now? Through Disney+, a whole new generations of kids is basically becoming familiar and fans of your work.
What was amazing was when Eric and I first began going to conventions about 5 years ago because of the show's 25th anniversary, just meeting fans. Because again, go way back in '92, there was no social media. The world was a different place. And as writers, we were always kind of head down over the computer, just getting the work done. There wasn't a writer's room. We were all working out of home offices. I'm going to be honest, I didn't know. I didn't really get a sense, how it affected people individually. I knew the show was Fox's #1 show. I knew that. And and for the 5 years it was on, I was aware of that. But then getting to talk to people, having them come up to the two of us and share these stories of how they shared it then with their own family and are now sharing it on with their kids. It just makes your heart melt in a positive way that this has happened. And it's, again, 30 years later, we're still talking about it. That doesn't happen with a lot of shows. So couldn't be more proud.
Yeah, fans out there right now, if you haven't already told the Leewalds how you feel or how the show has made you feel, go on their social accounts right now and let them know. And you're on the live chat right now, go put some X-Men emojis out there or something, because words can't really describe, just in this short segment, how much it has impacted myself and Ryan and the rest of the team as well. So thank you so much, really.
Well, it's really gratifying. Thanks, Daniel.
Hopefully we can get out to conventions again safely, like back in the normal days, and the fans can get back to meeting you and chatting it up with you. Before we jump into this awesome book that Dan and I have prominently on display, I did want to ask one quick kind of fanboy question, right? So it's noted in the book and other sources that Beast was actually not in the core roster from the start, but he was just such an interesting character.
Sad por nosotros. Bueno, por la mayoría que no había conseguido.
It's so great about the show is that each character has not only unique superpowers, but a unique personality as well. And so, just putting you on the spot a little bit here, but I was wondering if there was this alternate reality and you had to do the same show, talking about the same themes, but for some reason you couldn't use these 8 characters and you had to use other mutants. Who would be some of the characters that you might consider and why?
Well, it's hard because a lot of these. One of the nice things about these characters is that the history we had of them, they were so human. They were abandoned by their parents. They had family issues. We could build this alternate family of them and have them have very dramatic emotional crises and problems with them. We're so focused on them for so long, we haven't learned the other characters as well.
But I'm going to jump in.
Yes.
I'm such a fan of Nightcrawler, and you mentioned Beast.
Amigos, ya me
I
aburrí.
mentioned Nightcrawler.
A lo mejor cuando anuncien figuras.
The Beast is on the surface the most comfortable with his otherness, but he is of the X-Men on the team, the one who can't walk down the street without people going. But he is the most comfortable with that, except for certain moments when it starts to hurt him. And to me, Nightcrawler is also one of those characters that cannot look. He looks the way he looks. It's difficult for him to not have other people point and stare, and that kills me. And then you've got him with his convictions and his intelligence. I think his attitude. I think he's a very interesting character.
Yeah, and I think the ones that we were most drawn to, we used as guest characters like Nightcrawler or Iceman or Warren Worthington.
You had 9 people to service each episode. So the question was, how do you give each person the right amount of time and story? So that was a challenge just there. I'd rather revisit them all.
No, that's a real frustration in 20-minute stories is fine. We find ourselves putting 2 or 3 X-Men in one place, 2 or 3 X-Men in another place, and 2 or 3 another place, so that it wouldn't be a crowd of a team of 8 X-Men stumbling from scene to scene. It's just a lot of people to service and to get to know and to get close to. So most fans will ask us at cons, well, if you could have a lot more characters on the show, and we just said no. Our biggest headache was keep trimming them down and having them be away on vacation or whatever we had to do, so that we could focus on a couple of them and make a really good story for those 2 that week. And one of the strangest
no me
things
puedo sacar de la mente ese pack. Apenas compré mi Capdigno. O sea, trae el martillo, pero este no lo trae. Pero trae el cambio de cabeza, el cual no tengo. Y el Sam Wilson, pues sí lo tengo, pero este no trae las alas, pero trae un cambio de cabeza. Entonces, ¿qué dicen? ¿Lo compro o no lo compro? Sería bueno porque hasta podemos hacerle una comparación a estos Caps, que yo siento que van a hacer lo mismo, porque es el mismo molde y todo, pero no sé, estoy viendo las imágenes y sí se ve como un poco más animado, no sé, como más juguete este Cap. Y además es que la cabeza de Sam Wilson no se parece en nada, o sea, ya sin los lentes no se parece en nada. O sea, tiene un aire, pero no se parece. No se parece. Miren, a ver, se las voy a poner aquí, a ver.
That's the kind of leeway we had to tell stories. So it was great.
No se parece en nada. Se los pone en nada.
This awesome book. So for you, this is the art and making of X-Men the animated series, and for those fans who don't have it, you definitely should get it. It's available on Amazon, Target, and who don't have it, you definitely should get it. It's available on Amazon, Target, and Walmart everywhere, for a great price. It's literally hundreds of pages of production art, character models, there's a breakdown of how the intro came to be, and it's really well written too by you guys, with insights and stories about the challenges you faced getting the show on air. There was a lot of headwinds to it, but it was very successful. So guys, please go check that book out. And then I did want to ask one question about the book. There's part of it where there's some merchandise of all the early 90s.
Está muy raro.
Of the show. My favorites were the Pizza Huts and the Chef Boyardees. But just kind of, what were some of the wackiest or your favorite commercial tie-ins as we turn to a Hasbro tie-in in a couple of minutes?
Speaking of the Chef Boyardee, the X-Men have been canned. Here they are in all their pasta glory. Fortunately, this is a bank. I wouldn't want to trust a 30-year-old can of anything at this point, but that was fun.
We sent out X-Men Valentines.
Oh, that's Now this is a thing that
Wolverine slashing through a heart, you know.
This, Eric, you had a bit of a struggle early in the show.
Yeah.
This is a Wolverine walkie-talkie, and there was a bit of a fight a company wanted to put in the show.
When X-Men started, I mean, this is going to be hard for Hasbro to imagine, but there were basically no new toys planned for when the show started. There were a couple of dusty ones on the shelves, but there was almost nothing.
Miren,
And the show came on, and
este es el Sam Wilson y la cabeza está muy rara, o sea, no sé de qué opinan ustedes, pero no se parece en nada.
About halfway
En nada.
2/3 way through writing the first season, he came on board, and his company bought into Marvel, and suddenly it was okay. Well, where can I put my toys? You know, where can I put what little Mars merchandise I have? Where can we put that in the show? And what do you have, Avi? Well, we've got Wolverine walkie-talkies, and not this one. There's a different one. But Wolverine pajama. You know, X-Men curtains.
Y aquí tenemos la del Cap. Que miren, o sea, siento que se ve mucho mejor la que salió anteriormente que esta. O sea, aquí por ejemplo esta del Sam Wilson sí se ve mucho mejor. Se ve mejor, pero ya en la anterior imagen, en esta se ve muy raro. O sea, ni siquiera se parece. O sea... No. No sé qué hacer. No sé qué hacer. ¿Ustedes qué opinan? No.
There were some toys that toys from
just the things that they try to put into that asked you to
Storm on a tricycle.
Like that's
there
not
was
what
Storm on a tricycle, and they said, sorry, no, we don't see Storm going around on the tricycle.
She needs to get from point A to point B. She can use the winds.
But we love product place as much as anybody, but we were trying to be protective of our stories. So that's. Yeah, but we went to Pizza Hut a lot. We've got a lot of copies of those VHS tapes.
Yes, we do.
Oh, me too. Me too. Well, that's great. I love all that merchandise. It's definitely great just to pick some up stuff at conventions, you know, at those vendors and scour eBay. But what we have really exciting to reveal today, we have some new Marvel Legends X-Men figures that you guys have graciously helped us to reveal. So the first one we're going to take a look at is that most popular.
Pues hasta ahorita nos vamos con más figuras de Hasbro, de Marvel Legends, pero, o sea...
We get to do this. Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay, ready?
Yes, this is.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you're braced for this. Look at this. It is glorious.
That is an interesting box.
Una figura X-Men.
Flashing back to the VHS tapes of yore, then you're too young or you're not doing it right. But this is gorgeous.
This art is actually nicer. And this is a Dark Phoenix scene where Wolverine's just fallen through a house down into a sewer. And there's a wonderful part.
Y esta es Marvel Legends, me supongo, ¿no?
There's the comic book image of this from the Dark Phoenix. Our screen grab from the TV show of this image where he's coming up out of the sewer with his claws. And then Dan Diesenmeyer's beautiful art here on this book, where he even reimagines the same thing, and it just chills down our spine.
Yeah.
It was a real seminal moment in that story.
And credit to Larry Houston for incorporating that visual in the series, and then for that to here we are on this.
Yeah, a lot of the artists on the show loved the comic book so much that they would take the time to occasionally, if there were a moment from, because a lot of them weren't adaptations, a lot of them were original stories, but during the adaptations, they'd make sure to have certain poses or certain moments that were really dramatic in the comic books and reimagined them like this. So this
is just gorgeous.
That was one of the highlights in our book.
And this is just the box.
That's just the box. It's not. There's something inside of it, guys. We could just. We
haven't gotten to the meme yet.
No, wait. Okay, I've got them over. Just for the eeks, we didn't want to. Are we ready, gentlemen? We can do this. We can do this. We can show it.
It's your show. Go for it.
Jeez.
Okay, So
ready? You get this, but no, wait, there's more. Ready? Here we da 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 da. Look at this.
Nah, hombre, la neta sí está chulísimo esta figura,
and the most important
and it comes
accessory
with
to it.
an extra different
Está
head,
muy,
hands, but it
muy
also comes
padre.
with
Yo creo que es de las mejores que han sacado de cómics.
the Wolverine Crush picture frame right there. Right
Me
there,
gusta mucho y trae un retrato, Eso está muy, muy, muy
open
cool.
this picture frame and put your own image in there if you are so inclined. So Wolverine Crush can be crushing on whatever you want him to be crushing on. Oh my God, this is magic. I'm not holding too well together, but that's magic. Would you take over? I'm going to
Sure.
So you got that.
Yes, and she's got the.
And then you also have.
Muy, muy chingón.
You've got Wolverine gritting right here, and then you have him with the clawless hands, so as he can hold the crush.
Solo que no sea exclusivo, por favor.
The detail in this is astonishing. The shading.
Últimamente le ha dado a Hasbro a hacer puras figuras exclusivas.
It's a little bit difficult to hold the hands with the claws.
Yes, but with two of these together, I mean, folks.
So Wolverine's first moment of brokenheartedness on our show, and there were 7 or 8 of them. In season 1, episode 5, Captive Hearts, you can recreate this moment from the comfort of your own home. Oh my gosh, this is just. And if you really want to go all the way, beautiful. You can take the picture out and slash it. There you go. Which is what he did in the next frame. Truly interactive, right here, folks. Oh my, and again, this box, the art on this is just so much fun. Astonishing.
So that's not all. In infomercial speak, yes. Julia, that's not all. There's one more that we're revealing today too. Now we don't have the prototype figure; it wasn't ready, but we did send you out that other package, the VHS-inspired package. If you guys wanted to do the honors for that one. Boy, this is an honor, but the next one coming up.
Y también una.
We've got Jubilationly right there in all her youthful glory. Sparkling. She is a mall babe that eats chili fries. Right there, folks.
¿Cómo se llama esta pata?
I mean, these are gorgeous.
Ese fue el nombre.
Boxes.
Están muy padres las figuras, Y el diseño de las cajas está muy, muy bonito. Eso sí, debo admitirlo.
So it drifted down into the ether from somebody, or maybe an artist scratched it in. Yeah. But so yes, that's become a line among us. Does a mall babe eat chili fries as she says farewell to her foster parents at the end of episode 2, I think, not the sentence. But yeah, here she is. Here is Jubilee. Look at that.
And so put him like we designed it, and Dan Wiesenmeyer, amazing art. If you put him side by side, you get that kind of VHS library type.
Right.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah. It's perfect. Yeah. I mean, I'm hearing the theme song in my head. I've been hearing it a lot lately, but I'm hearing it right now. And then to see these, it's like, oh, I can hear the VHS tape whirring, as I'm being kind and rewinding.
Me gusta, está padre,
Gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
Versiones cómic, buenos diseños, los colores. El X-Men me gustó, el X-Men en Wolverine me gustó muchísimo. No tengo ningún Wolverine, aunque el de los cómics no me gusta tanto, pero me gustaría tenerlo. Y preferiría una versión UCM con Hugh Jackman. Que no sé.
And making of X-Men the Animated Series. And Eric and Julia, where can fans follow you on social media for all the latest happenings?
I tend to be on way too often every day on Twitter. We're at X-Men TAS for X-Men the Animated Series. We're not on Facebook as much, but we're there for that as well. I'm trying to get on Instagram, and we have a website, xmentas.com. Where we have blogs from behind the scenes stuff on the show, where we talk
couple hundred stories from behind the scenes.
Some more deep dive things.
Some are in the book, some aren't. Some are original.
But this has been an honor, and please come find us. We hope to be out in the real world next year. We'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully we can all be together soon and meet in person. Thank you for spending some time with us. It was so kind of you, and it's kind of a dream for Dan and I just to even chat with you. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, thanks for being a part of PulseCon. And fans, go check out them on Twitter and go get the book. And thanks again for all the X-Men fans around the world.
Well, and this is an honor right here.
Our pleasure, Ryan.
Thank you both.
Thank you, guys.
Wow, that was pretty cool. You know, for a kid of the 90s, getting to talk to Eric and Julia was just a real special treat. So thank you again to them. Go follow them on social media. They're really hilarious and they're great. So thank you. So yeah, let's get further into these figures, guys. This is a segment that has been brewing a while in our heads. It's kind of both a packaging execution, right, and a unique deco take. So if we want to pull up, what do we want to pull up? Wolverine here, and let's just talk more about him. Dwight, what's new on this Wolverine figure?
Yeah, Wolverine looks awesome here. This is actually one of my favorite things that I got a chance to work on this year. Wolverine has some great new parts. He's got 2 animated masks, gridded angry face and calm and stoic face. He's got some brand new claws. We know you guys love your claws, and here I can turn these around so you can see them even better. He's got some nice rounded kind of claws that really look like they did on the animation, which is really fun because we don't have those in our tooling library just yet until now. And Wolverine also comes with some really cool cell shading kind of to represent the look from the animation. Along with the 2 heads, the awesome new claws, and alternate popped and unpopped hands, because Ryan and Dan and Jesse, all who love this animation, and like you guys know, I have not seen this animation, so I can't talk about it with any level of education, but there's some awesome memes out there, and one of the favorite ones is this of poor Logan sitting in his bed, pining over the love of his life, who is very happy with another man. And that's just sometimes the things you got to deal with in life, people. Things don't always go your way. So we have Logan here with his picture frame of Gene with Scott, which I always thought was such a sad thing for him to be sitting on his bed looking at. It's just sad. But it's awesome to be able to recreate that in fun form for the toys.
El retrato le da un toque bastante cool, aunque un cambio de cabeza sin la máscara visada hubiera estado bastante cool.
And look at them in your tiny little toy picture frame, or whatever you guys want to do. Have some fun with it. Be respectful, but have some fun, and really, really enjoy this new Wolverine. Oh, what am I doing? I'm not even talking about all of it. Look at this. We also have this really cool, boom, VHS-esque packaging. It's got the all fun logos all around it. Pull this off the side so you can see the back better. There you go. But it's a real fun take on it. It's got, it kind of looks like a slightly oversized VHS cassette. For those of you who know what a VHS cassette is, if you're old like me, if you have gray in your beard, you all grew up with a VHS. If you're one of the younglings of today, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but hey, it's a cool toy and you'll enjoy it anyways. So there you go.
Ah, Júbilo se llama.
Cierto. For that artwork, and
no soy bueno con los nombres, disculpa.
Worked on the show as well, so working closely with him, and of course Ben and the packaging team to recreate that. So shout out to Dan V. And also Dwight, I had a question. Are you gonna put your curtains in the little picture frame? Is that the plan? What's your plan?
You're lucky I don't know what state you're in right now, my friend, because I have to just send you a digital print. That's what you call an IOU. So I can't wait to see you at some point in the future, my friend.
So yeah, guys, and I just wanted to point out, these new claws on this Wolverine figure are awesome. You guys know I love the fat X-Force Wolverine claws, but these are new and they're very rigid out of the pack there, so no warpage, and they're very sturdy. So that is awesome, in addition to the cel-shaded deco. And as Dan mentioned, we had Dan Wiesenmeyer. He did all the art, is doing all the art for these X-Men cassette tape packages. He was a storyboard artist on the 90s show, so he just comes up with these great concepts like Wolverine down in the sewer there from the episode. So shout out to Dan. He's on Twitter. He's an awesome follow too, so go check him out. And so the Leewalds, we also revealed the second figure in this line, which we have to go to a render because we don't have the prototype in hand yet. But again, it is Jubilee. So let's throw that on the screen here. She comes with a bunch of accessories. Dwight, walk them through everything that Jubilee has.
Boom. Big, pink, And beautiful. We have Jubilee here in her own mock VHS cassette. She will come with 2 heads, at least 2 pair of sunglasses. One is
Muy rosa,
and one
pero la
is
caja está chida.
tinted. Both of them have the animated kind of cell shading
Rosa y
across them.
yo
And she has all those beautiful fire
llevamos más o
sparkly
menos.
effects on the package. And the cool thing that the team did was
Bastante cool el diseño, el arte conceptual del personaje está muy cool y al parecer van a haber varios de estos diseños. Pienso yo que eso va a ser.
People still displayed and collected VHSs, which once again
esperándolos.
and that's okay. Talk to your mom and your dad. They'll explain what this stuff is to you guys.
So, Dwight, I actually have an original X-Men VHS here, still mint in pack because you know that's how I roll.
Of course, it's mint in pack.
We kept the dimensions the same. So these packages are larger to fit the figures. They're actually 9 1/4 by 5 inches wide, but the dimensions are the same. And VHS cassettes felt bigger in our hands when we were kids anyways, so it all blended in very nicely. And as Dwight said, the side view, you can have them all facing the same way, and they will look great together on your shelf. So let's just talk how you're going to get these, right? These items are a new approach for us. They are going to be shared Pulse exclusives as well as Shop Disney, kind of like how we did the X-Force 3-pack earlier this year. And so they will be available next year, but available for pre-order today on the Hasbro Pulse at 4 p.m. again for Pulse Premium members, as you know, and then 5 p.m. wide pre-order there. So go get your X-Men cassette style 90s animated Wolverine and Jubilee. Love that line. We've got more characters to come.
If we send that VHS, will you watch one episode of X-Men animated? I just want that to be the goal, man. If I send you that, are you gonna watch an episode, man? Oh, am I just collecting sandwiches right now? Is that what we're doing? Okay, never mind.
I love threatening you like I can possibly.
Ok, anunciaron un tripack, el que ya habían anunciado de X-Force o uno nuevo. Espero sea uno nuevo.
You whippersnapper, you. Yes, I will watch this show. I have a few other things on my checklist. When I get through with them, I will sit down and I will watch some X-Men animation. Why don't you actually come back to our state, and then we can actually pretend that we're civil human beings and we can do this together instead of you just kind of floating all over the bloody East Coast for the last 2 years. Set some roots, buddy.
Good point.
I think you guys should both just stop watching soccer, and then you'll have more time to catch up on a lot of things. But that's another issue. All right, so let's go on to our next topic here. So this is one that we'll be sure to catch up with Jesse for his further insights on another live stream, I'm sure. But as you know, right, 2022 is going to be the 20th anniversary of the Marvel Legends 6-inch line that Jesse and his team at Toy Biz helped usher in this brand
Aniversario de Marvel, Marvel Legends.
And we've revealed the first figure through.
A ver qué nos anuncian.
Thank you to him for doing a video for us.
Oh, ya se acabó.
He did an awesome job with that. So Captain America is the first character out. Here's a look again at all of the contents. Dwight, walk him through everything basically here.
Cap clásico que ya habíamos visto y que ya nos habían anunciado.
We all know that out of pack is way more important than in pack. So what we have here is our awesome new Captain America. His color schemes is heavily inspired by the colors of the original Toy Biz era figure from 20 years ago. He will come with a miniature a kind of comic book. Once again, the dimensions of a comic are maintained because that was such an important piece of the Toy Biz figures back in the day. They had the actual comics that came with them, which we thought was a really, really cool touch, and we wanted to find a way to kind of represent that in these toys. So Cap comes with a Marvel Legends classic stand, as you guys can see on the base. It looks like the old school logo, which is cool, and it has the card, and the card is reversible. You can pop it out, spin it around, pop it back down, and now you have kind of a carded diorama backdrop for the figure. Obviously, We wanted to do something above and beyond. We wanted to figure out something fresh and new, and we decided to have a little bit of fun with Cap's shield. I know, blasphemy, we put holes in Captain America's indestructible shield. Forgive me if that upsets you. You probably already have shields in your drawers that you can replace them with. I think we'll be okay, and if you don't like it that much, we'll do another more awesome one later. But the cool thing about this one is there are 3 blast effect holes in the shield that allow you to pop off these blaster deflections. You can put in this big slash effect if he was going against, you know, any other kind of guy that might be slashing at him, read some comic books, or it's got a cool kind of lightning blast effect that can also pop onto the shield. So you can mix and match the accessories to really have fun for posing, play, and photography, if that's your bag. Tons of hands. I think he has 6 hands in total, different expressions from saluting to pointing to open hands to fist hands. Some awesome new head sculpts that one of our dear friends Paul worked on, and the unmasked Steve Rogers with the cowl pulled back, as well as the all-new Steve hooded figures look absolutely fantastic. And if that was not enough, we take all these awesome things off to the side. Look at this retro, get all the feels out, people. You know, a kind of
tiene el diseño de las cajas del Toy Biz, y eso está bastante cool. Trae 2 pares de cambios de manos, 2 efectos o 3 creo, y el escudo todavía.
I just want to thank the visionary mind behind the idea of
Y ese es el antiguo.
display stand molded in the old Marvel Legends logo that can hold a reversible backdrop that is both an homage to the physical diorama of Toy Biz and then the comic as well. So shout out to that guy. I mean,
that guy's brilliant,
that's
I tell
really
you.
Good stuff.
Brilliant.
So what was I going to say? Yeah, there's what else is to say? It's the best cap I think we've ever done, and that packaging, it is on a blister card. We could not go full clamshell, and I don't think you really wanted that anyways, because those original packages were so impenetrable to open. So beautiful blister card. Again, shout out to Ben and the team for really bringing that feel and the art back to this. The comic covers for that Captain America, we went with that same cover that came with the Toy Biz toy, but for the next item we took some liberties with it. So, a lot of speculation, but you guys can probably guess.
Que nos anuncien de una vez las otras, ¿no? Que yo por ahí ya sé que, bueno, me dijeron que iban a sacar las otras 4. Ahí están, esas. Me refería yo. Ahí están.
What you would expect, the 80th anniversary base armor that everybody, you know, has seen in.
A esas me refería.
Most probably, it's been one of our more popular Iron Man armors in classic nature and scale and everything. So we took that armor, but because we've done that armor a couple of times, even though the first appearance of Iron Man was in that classic 80s armor with the shoulder rings and the more iconic look with the hip disc, we wanted to do something a little bit different for you guys. So we did the variant version of that figure from back in the day and gave him the horned helmet with a new torso. He's got nice washes in all of the recessed areas of the ribbed.
Me gustan, pues es un diseño clásico, la verdad. Pero en general es muy, muy bueno.
We've done on an action figure ever. The diorama kind of like little element that came with him in the past is represented in the card art here, shown with the Stark banner. And then if you flip the card around, once again, you can swap it. And we got a comic cover in there. We didn't use the original comic cover. We thought this one was a better representation of Iron Man for the time.
El cambio de torso también está muy muy genial, aunque no se parece en nada. Bueno, no sé, no lo he visto en cómics, la cabeza de Iron Man se ve muy muy grande. Y el empaque también está padre, refiriéndose a los Toy Biz de antes, ¿no? Y eso está cool.
So I bet we'll see some of those guys in just in not too long of a time.
But what will they look like? I guess the fans will have to wait to find out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
So these 2 items, the first two of the Legends 20th anniversary. These are going to be fan channel exclusives in 2022, and they will be available for pre-order on the Hasbro Pulse starting at 4 p.m. for premium members and then at 5 p.m. for everyone else and at other retailers. So love these items. They look great in pack, out of pack. Super awesome. And you know, Jesse had to go, but you know, shout out to Jesse and the Toy Biz team and everyone involved in that original Marvel Legends line, because if it wasn't for them, then none of us would be here doing what we're doing right now, and you guys wouldn't have had many years of great Marvel Legends items to collect. So thank you to all. All right, so I think now it is time to go into our fan vote winner. Shall we tally up the votes here and see who won? All right, and the winner is #villain. Okay, so a first-time villain character, never before had an action figure. This is
A ver si van a sacar alguna figura o que es para que haya sido el hashtag.
Dwight, I know nothing about this character. Hopefully you can clue the fans in.
I can tell you that he is a white and black action figure. Does that help?
50% votó por el 29 Hero.
This weird kind of melty, drippy face.
Uf.
It's got all the, you know, whites and blacks. It looks really awesome. His cape looks like a torn cheesecloth.
Ay, no ubico el personaje.
It's all tattered and gross. And you know, we like to do those guys for the first time when we have the opportunity. So that's what we're doing in this instance, giving you a first time in the line and another awesome villain to go somewhere in your collection.
And because it's PulseCon, we wanted to end with one more special mystery tease. So Dwight from his office brought something to show you guys. So let's take a look. We're not going to say anything about it, okay? So you're just going to have to let your imagination run wild.
All right, let me reach into my grab bag in my special mystery space back here behind the void of space and time and give you guys something to look at.
Whoa, what is that?
I don't know,
It's
Ryan
actually
told me.
two things. Is it one thing or two things?
I don't know. What is it?
Oh,
¿Qué
It's
es
a
eso?
thing in a puddle. Wow, spared no expense. A thing in a puddle.
That's. I just want to commend you on your lazy Susan action today. By the way,
Se la volaron con eso,
Practicing.
All right, so with that,
Son
the second
compis.
PulseCon in the books. Thank you guys for sticking with these full 2 days. Appreciate you hanging out with us at the end here on this Saturday. All these pre-orders, check out the Hasbro Pulse website, app,
Mejor
Instagram.
nos puedes
where all the
anunciar.
latest Marvel Legends, Big 3 shenanigans and reveals happen, as you know. So with that, we'll see you next time. Thanks, Marvel Legends fans.
Take it easy, guys. See you down the road.
Peace.
I'm still in shock. It was just so many fantastic surprises. Jackie, listen, when I saw the husband and wife showrunner come out for the original X-Men, the animated series, I was like, wait. What are they gonna actually show off?
I know.
And then they show off 2 vintage boxes that brought me right back to childhood, the VHS tapes.
The VHS packaging is so brilliant. Because, yeah, like, there's the great art on the front.
Yeah.
But we were saying, like, I want to collect them and have them on the shelf like VHSs. And people are like, are they? And you're like,
Aha, they hold the figures. And there were
It's
so
so
many
cool.
other great things that were revealed. You had the MODOK World Domination, right? As MODOK dressed as Elvis. You had the Venom on SPD Retro card, the Retro 3.7, 5 Wolverine and Phoenix, Falcon, Null. That's a first-time figure. I couldn't believe that one.
Yeah.
Null looks great. That
Really
was a
cool.
great addition. You got the Scarlet Witch Retro card, of course, and Baron Zemo, which is a Walgreens exclusive, but I know you're
Yes.
excited about Scarlet Witch.
yes, I love Scarlet Witch. Yeah.
We got the Vision on the retro card as well. MCU Captain America 2-pack, Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson. They're the best of friends. They're going to train together. They're going to make some cool looks with
Pues
them.
bueno chicos, estas fueron las revelaciones que nos dieron el día de hoy en Marvel Legends. La verdad es que algunas me sorprendieron, algunas me gustaron, otras no, y yo sigo indeciso en ese pack de los capitanes. Es un especial. pero no sé, la Scarlet Witch clásica de cómic me gustó muchísimo, el White Vision no me gustó para nada, el Zemo de cómics también no me gustó para nada, sinceramente. Los clásicos Iron Man y el Cap de Toys Biz por su aniversario también están bastante cool. Por ahí sacaron personajes como el dios de los simbiontes, que la verdad está bastante genial. Ojalá lo saquen pronto, o a lo mejor, perdón, saquen las imágenes oficiales, porque estaría genial verlo ya más a detalle. ¿Qué más? Por ahí hay un personaje que no sé quién es, si alguien sabe, dígame. Porque no tengo idea de quién sea. Y ¿qué más? El Soldado del Invierno también está muy genial, me gusta. Yo creo que eso también lo van a creer muchos. Y nada, ¿no? Pues esto en general fue las Marvel Legends de Hasbro del BlizzCon 2021. Y pues a ver qué más, ¿no? A ver cuándo nos vuelven a anunciar noticias de estas figuras. Y pues sin nada más que decir, yo me despido y las dejo aquí porque creo que ya acabó esto. Y nos vemos hasta la próxima, y cualquier cosa pues vamos a analizar un poquito más estas figuras en otro video para que no se queden sin las ganas de dar su opinión también. Así que pues yo creo que ya acabamos. A ver qué más.
Hope you're all having an amazing time. We are stoked to be here with you, Hasbro PulseCon. 3, 4. Hip, hip. Hip, hip.
No, nada.
Pues bueno chicos, yo aquí me despido, espero que hayan disfrutado el en vivo y todas las novedades que sacaron del Hasbro Plus con 2021 y pues nos vemos hasta el siguiente video.